Maria Taylor here alongside our NBA draft analyst Mike Schmitz. And in case you didn't know, he watches basically every NBA prospect from the time they're, what, 14, 15?
Yeah, 14, 15, sometimes 13.
I was going to say, if they're really good, 12.
Really good. Yeah.
Okay, but what we want to do is walk through this 2020 draft, some of the most fascinating prospects that you've been keeping an eye on. Let's start with the most talented in this draft.
Lamelo Ball. That
Okay.
Lamelo Ball. I've been saying that since I went out to Wollongong, Australia, the Gong.
You practiced that?
Yeah, I practiced that. I spent about 5 days there around Lamelo, and this kid is an extreme talent. 6'7", 6'8" point guard. He can make every pass in the book, and he's full of creativity. And I think a lot of that actually comes from his Chino Hills days, where he didn't have to look over to the bench after he made a mistake. And there's just a ton of star power around this kid. Now, he needs to improve as a perimeter shooter. He's got kind of that funky two-handed push shot. He needs to improve defensively for sure. He falls asleep a ton on that end. There are some questions about how is he going to score in the half court, but I'll take his positional size, his passing feel, his creativity, and the fact that he's never rattled. Like he wouldn't be afraid to go to a place like New York, even with all that's around him. So all that said, to me, he's the most talented prospect.
And you know what I'll take? Another Ball brother playing in the NBA.
Yes.
Yeah, when we had one with the Lakers and we had one in New York, that'd be okay. Okay, what about the most intriguing prospect of the 2020 draft?
Denny Avdia. He's the best international prospect in this draft. He's 6'9". He can do a little bit of everything. He can shoot it with range. He can handle. He's a great facilitator, and he's really competitive. He's Israeli, Serbian, so he's got that toughness to him. He can defend multiple positions. And if this kid was in college, if he were playing at Duke, at North Carolina, at one of these blue buds, we'd be talking about him as a potential #1 pick in this draft. Like, it's not easy to get on the floor in the EuroLeague, playing for a high-pressure team like Maccabi Tel Aviv. He's really embraced his role there, and we've seen him at the FIBA level, at the junior level, be a guy who can make basically every pass in the book and play on the ball as kind of a jumbo point guard. So I love this kid's game. I love his tenacity.
Who do he remind you of? Because we like to always do that when we're talking about prospects that are overseas. It's like, I need to know what it's going to translate to on the court.
I don't think it's a one-to-one comparison for him. I'd say there's a little bit of Danilo Gallinari, there's a little bit of Dario Saric, and then there are some shades of Luka Doncic.
Okay.
You don't want to say he's that. Luka's a generational talent, okay? But anytime you have a guy who's 6'9", who can make a step-back three and fire the ball all over the court, you're going to see a little bit of that.
It doesn't matter what shade it is of Luka. I mean, even saying that, mentioning it, you've got me intrigued. Okay, what about an under-the-radar prospect, that sneaky one that we're not talking about now, but could possibly make a splash?
Isaac Okoro. This is a guy we didn't have as a projected one and done coming into the season. Reminds me a little bit of Jimmy Butler. He's actually ahead of Jimmy Butler at the same stage. Jimmy Butler obviously was the 30th pick in the draft, spent time in junior college, but Okoro, 6'6", 6'7", 225, good length, and defends positions 1 through 4. He's been Auburn's most important player all season on the defensive end and on the offensive end. And what we kind of underestimated coming into the year was the fact that he can really handle and he can really pass. Now, he's not a great perimeter shooter, kind of similarly to Jimmy at the same stage, but he's a big-time worker, incredible intangibles. And so he's this guy you're maybe seeing as an elite role player. Maybe he's a starter, but I really think he's going to be talked about as a potential all-star 3, 4, 5 years from now.
All right, well, those are the 3 most fascinating players in the 2020 NBA draft, according to Mike Schmitz. Listen to him, follow him. He knows what he's talking about. What's up? Thank you so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. Don't forget to download the ESPN app, and if you want more premium content, which you do, make sure that you subscribe to ESPN+. See you soon.